Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Data Talks with Lauren. This is a show where we talk about emerging trends in the data world to enable people to stay informed. So today we are going to talk about a distinction between data silos, data warehouse, data lakes and data marts. And this is a topic in continuation to the previous one that we just talked about, the business intelligence architecture. All these terms could be used in the business intelligence architecture, but what are they? What is the distinction between them? What are the benefits of each of them? What are the costs that are involved in each of these different terminologies? And what are the approaches that are used in these implementation strategies? So with me today is a panel, and I'll let them introduce themselves at this point. We'll start with Ken.
Thanks once again, Lauren.
Yeah.
My name is Kennedy Kwambai. I'm a business intelligence developer at Save the Children International.
Okay.
Thank you. My name is Barry Okwaro. I'm a business intelligence developer at Save the Children UK.
All right.
My name is Benjamin Tua, a data engineer working for Oracle.
Yeah, my name is John Olawaye. I'm a BI developer, Pathways International.
Yeah, my name is Matthew Kamoy, a BI developer at Pathways International.
So at this point, Ken, maybe you can give us a brief overview of whatever we talked about in the previous episode, which was in regards to business intelligence architecture.
Okay, thanks, Lauren. A quick recap on what we talked the last time is a BI architecture. And we started on the data source, and then to the staging level or the landing level, and then the data warehouse. So on a continuation of that is we also need to have, from the data warehouse level, we need to have a data mart level. And from the data mart level, now you can report from the data mart, or you can report from the data warehouse level. This is depending on the organization, how quick you want your data.
Yeah. You
can have it from the data house directly, and also from the size of the organization, how many reports you want to have for your users. If it's an enterprise organization, a very big one, you can have data marts for each docket or department. So from there, then you can report using different tools, BI tools. It can be Power BI, it can be Tableau, and so on and so forth.
All right, so at this point, I'd like us to understand the distinction between data marts and data silos, because they're a bit closely related. They have a history. So maybe, Benji, you can highlight that.
Let me talk about data silo first.
Okay.
So data silo is basically data that is excluded in maybe departmental based. So maybe we're talking about HR or finance.
Yeah.
Is whereby you just go and pick only the finance data,
Yes.
and not including it with any other kind of data. It's also good to understand that a silo is not maybe sourcing from a data warehouse. It's sourcing directly from these transaction-based systems. Now, the comparison between the silo and the mart is because you are still focusing on maybe department or a certain subject area.
Yes.
But for this matter, a mart is sourcing from the data warehouse. Remember, in the warehouse, the data has already been curated and modeled, capturing all aspects of the business. So it's good to seclude a little bit in terms of comparison and also even user level rights. Trying to control who should be able to query certain tables within the DW, and so that's how maybe a data mart can come to be very relevant.
Okay.
It's also good to know that silos currently are maybe becoming deprecated because it's an old sort of a technology which right now it's not in practice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'd like us to move to data marts, Kaka. So maybe we can just talk about the approaches that are involved when creating data marts.
Okay.
That is the in-one and the Kimball approach.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So when we talk about data marts, like Benji rightly said, it's about sectioning the data in form of maybe departmental or subject area, right? So now the implementation also is closely related to the implementation of a data warehouse, right? Because it also uses either the dimension modeling, right? So where we could also have the facts and dimension, right? So, and when it comes to the approach, but when you talk about the approach of Inmon or Kimball, you notice that I know it's a term that is everywhere now. We have the bottom up and then the top bottom.
Yeah.
So the approach. So yes. So while Kimball is the bottom up, which is we first of all do the data mats before now we fix them into the data warehouse.
Okay.
But when we talk about Imon, we are talking about the top bottom, which is the reverse. So you go from the data warehouse, now you split the data into these different departments. So again, in the design or in the implementation, again, other topics we talk about also apply in the data mart, which is the data mapping, which is the issue of again ETL and all of these things. So validation of the data and things like that. But the main thing that makes a data mart distinct from a data warehouse is just that it's focusing on one specific area of the business.
Okay, so like in a company, it could be a different department, or it could be a project, right?
Exactly. So for instance, let's talk about a department like sales department or HR department. You know, you don't want salespeople or other departments to be seeing salary or seeing things like that. So you seclude that aspect, and you could actually implement that also in different ways, right? Maybe from not giving them the column that aspect, masking that particular column, and things like that. Several ways you can implement it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me expand more on the term data silo, data mart. See, back in the day, before the concept of data warehouse, there used to be the data silos. The term data silo was commonly used. And let me give you a scenario where you have different departments, they have data in, let's say, Excel, Access, separate, right? And then there's this IT individual who has them in, let's say, that Excel, right? And it's the same data. So probably somebody from HR will come and tell you, hey, I want to see this matrix here. You copy, give him a version of his, right? Somebody from supply chain might come, he gives the same copy, his version, and they have different metrics. They are looking for different metrics. So instead of having that copying all over, people will have, like, you know, there's not that correlation between supply chain and HR, maybe finance, HR, you see. So the concept of data warehouse kind of came and closed that issue. You have to have them in one repository and report from there, instead of having so many data silos within the organization. And it's a very bad habit that very big organizations have. They have their data all over, data silos all over. So best practice, have them in one report from that one repository.
Actually, in addition, I think the fact that it could be a security, the way you pointed it out, such that it's secluded, but also it's security such that it's all over, and it could be easily leaked. There's that possibility.
To another department, something that they're not supposed to see.
Okay.
And also maybe bringing the term common source of truth. You see, silos, you might have the same data, different departments, but if you're trying to look at a certain KPI, the results are different, yet it's the same data. So DW brought in this concept of common source of truth, whereby you will not have different kind of results.
Single source of
Single,
truth.
I think I can
Martin?
still add more on data mart. Remember, this is sourcing from a data warehouse where the data in the data warehouse is cleaned. There is a transformation that has occurred, so there is no duplication. So these are kind of a clean data that's focusing on a certain area. For example, we can create data marts for different departments. That is cleaned, transformed. There is no duplicates. There is deduplication has occurred, transformation in terms of removing nulls, removing the data that is not required. For example, masking that data and masking the data, putting that data for reporting. So when we are doing building a data mart, you can either build a data mart and store that data in different DB, or you can store that data in a view. So there's an aspect of creating views where this data is not eating up on the space, where the views will be querying directly when you execute. It will be querying directly from the data wells.
Yeah.
So that aspect will reduce what we call the space,
Yeah.
and it will also help you to manage data in a certain way, because you will be grouping this data
Yes.
into different departments, into different sections, which is focusing on what